39, 40, 41, 42, 43.
Birthday to me.
How old is he? Really? Oh.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, dear Lloydie. Happy birthday to me.
God, I really got that wrong. It's been a tough life, eh, Dan? Coming up on this week's news show, we've got all the racing news, we've got a truly mind-blowing ride, and we've got the results of our Rider Impersonation Competition.
There's been loads going on this week in Tinkoff Corner. We've got our regular tech, tweet and caption of the week, our Strava club, and it's my birthday.
We're going to party like it's his birthday.
We're going to sip Bacardi like it's my birthday.
You know, we don't give a it's not his birthday.
You can find me in the club with a bottle full of bub.
Winner of last week's Caption Competition is Fraser McDougall with FFS, El Pistolero, you've really let yourself go. For those that don't know, Alberto Contador's nickname is El Pistolero. See what he did there? Clever.
I saw exactly what he did. Anyway, this week here's a picture of Rafael Majka, and once again we'll start you off. I've been buzzing since your win, Rafa. In fact, I'm just generally buzzing. Got any flowers?
I don't think that'll be beaten actually.
Of course not.
I think that's great. Yeah, really fun.
It's been yet another busy week of top-level racing, and there were plenty of successes for home riders.
Rafael Majka
continued his great run of form after the Tour de France, winning 2 stages and the overall at the Tour of Poland. Not only was it the first overall victory for a Polish rider at that World Tour level race, it was actually the first stage win for a Polish rider in over 10 years. And along with
Michał Kwiatkowski,
Rafael Majka
is inspiring a new generation of riders from that country.
and Tinkoff Saxo are also extremely successful at their home race, the Tour of Denmark. The Italian Manuela Boari was leading going into the final stage, but ultimately it was his teammate, 22-year-old current Danish champion Michael Vulgren, who ran away with victory.
And Cadel Evans of BMC might have taken 2 stage wins at the recent Tour of Utah, but it was Colorado native Garmin Sharp's Tom Danielson who took the victory. In a repeat 1-2 from last year, it was Chris Horner of Lamprey who came second. His preparation for the Vuelta looks like it's going swimmingly. Honestly, we don't need to see that again.
You're right there, mate. This year's Ride London race was given an upgraded status by the UCI to 1.HC, and it invited 7 World Tour teams along. However, ultimately they were all upstaged by former World Tour rider Adam Blythe, now racing for NFTO.
On Saturday, Wiggle Honda's Giorgia Bronzini won the Women's Grand Prix and then promptly caught a flight so that she could start La Route de France the very next day. She took 3rd on the first stage behind Claudia Lichtenberg of Giant Shimano.
Happy birthday, dear Lloydie. Happy birthday to me.
I got you a present, Dan.
Have you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
How did you know it's my birthday?
I just had a bit of a premonition.
That wasn't my email to you on
No,
Friday.
no, it wasn't actually.
Have you wrapped this? It's hard getting.
Always comes in handy.
An inner tube. Where's
Yeah.
the box?
Well, it needs a quick patch.
What the hell is
actually.
that? A patch?
It needs a patch. No, just give it a quick.
I've actually got a trick for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just tie a knot
Just
in
do a video
both
about
ends. What do you do if you're a bike company and you own your own wind tunnel? You probably do a lot of product testing, right? Well, you do, but luckily for us, Specialized are also using theirs to answer some burning questions that we all have, such as how aerodynamic is it to shave your legs, and they're recording the results for their YouTube channel.
Now last week they tested the relative aerodynamic benefits of different descending positions. On the drops, tucked in on the tops, and then tucked on the top tube. Or to find out how much faster you could go. Over to Chris Yu at Specialized for the answers.
So for the first position, kind of the traditional drops, but a little bit lower, we found that you would top out at 61 and change kilometers an hour. So pretty fast. But if you went into that tuck position where your hands are together and you're a little bit lower and narrower, you actually picked up 2.5 kilometers an hour. So now you're going 64 and change kilometers an hour, so a little bit faster. And finally, that third position, which was super aggressive, picked up another 4 kilometers an hour. So sitting on the top tube and getting lower was worth it quite a bit. So now at the end, you've gone from 61 and change kilometers an hour in the drops to over 68 kilometers an hour on the top tube. So quite a bit of speed.
Good video, Si, but I felt it was a little bit of a shame that they didn't test out the human saddlebag position.
But it was adopted by the late Marco Pantani back in the 90s. Basically, arms stretched out, bum hovering off the back of the saddle and over the rear wheel.
Well, yeah, but you covered that so comprehensively, Dan, that there was probably no need.
Yeah, that's probably true. Loads more action in the GCN Strava club this week, and over the last 7 days, the longest distance ridden came from pro rider Lewis Lemoux. He rides for the Jelly Belly team.
Who are they presented by, Dan?
Well, that's interesting you ask that, because they're presented by Maxis Pro Cycling. Anyway, he uploaded all of his rides from the recent Tour of Utah up to Strava and narrowly beat teammate Jonathan Frater by 7 kilometres.
I imagine that after one stage, he cleverly did a little bit extra just to get that extra 7Ks on his teammate. And in fact, those 7Ks must have been almost entirely uphill because he also has the lead in our climbing competition.
Meanwhile, top spot on the longest single ride went to John Evans, who did 611 kilometres, effectively riding across England and back over the course of 34 hours.
Putting all riding achievements in the shade last week, there was Mike Kotti, brand ambassador for Mavic and Cannondale in general endurance riding hardman. He rode 1,012 kilometres in one go across the width of the Alps, from Italy, across the Dolomites, the Eastern Alps, the Swiss Alps, and finishing in France, racking up 23,000 metres of ascent.
Yep, 53 hours and 38 minutes after he left Conegliano in Italy, he arrived in Chamonix having crossed 21 cols, a truly remarkable feat.
Well, back in 2011 I rode across the Pyrenees and last year across the Alps, so it was kind of a natural progression really. Wanted to go a little bit further, a few more mountains and just really see if it could be done. The early hours of the morning, first night going up the Stelvio, I just sat in rain for about 8 hours, a lot of cold seeped into my muscles, and I was just suffering so bad that I didn't know when I was going to get to the top, and it was just mind over matter all the way. A lot of great moments obviously in such a long ride, but second night was dry, it was warmer. I had a lot of fun on the descents because you could see the light trail in front of you, and you could hear that there was no traffic around, so you could just carve the bends like you're the only thing on the road, and that was pretty amazing.
You fancy that, Dan?
No.
Finally, it's been confirmed that Sagan will be joining Tinkoff Saxo for next year. Yes, that's right, Uri will be joining them from Cannondale along with his younger brother Peter. Joining them from Cannondale will be Maciej Bodnar, and also Pavel Brut is going from Katusha.
And in other transfer news, Bauke Mollema will be leaving Team Belkin at the end of this year, having inked a new deal with Trek Factory Racing. And the BMC squad have also been very busy. They've signed Caruso and Demarchi from Cannondale and Jean-Pierre Drucker from Wanty Group Gobert. Loads more going on the channel this week. On Monday, we've already showed you how to fine-tune your gears whilst you're out training. Tuesday is, of course, this new show where we focus mainly on my birthday celebrations. On Wednesday, we'll show you how to improve your braking.
Is to remember that your front brake is by far and away the most effective way to slow down. Some people actually advocate using only the front brake for effectiveness, and the theory is sound. You get the most effective braking just at the point at which your back wheel starts to rise off the ground.
On Thursday, we've got our top 10 tips for climbing. On Friday, it's our Vuelta de España preview show. On Saturday, we look at a top pro's bike. This is my bike. There are many like them, but this one is mine. My bike is my best friend.
Who from?
My bike is my best friend. My bike is my... I can't say that. That's not strictly true. It's mine, actually. We're looking at my bike. It's really good, though.
Before, this Italian legend fell from grace, but his climbing style will live on.
Now it's time to announce the winner of our impersonation competition. We were absolutely overwhelmed by the number of entries we had this time, but ultimately there could only be one winner, and that is Sean Dupree. Now you only had to get 5 right to enter the competition, but Sean was amongst many who managed to get all 10. Well done, Sean. We'll be in touch with you shortly and we'll send you out our kit.
Now, unfortunately, no one could shed any light on just why Matt Stevens was wearing a shower cap.
Really?
Actually, that's not quite true. A lot of people worked out that he was wearing it because it was supposed to impersonate a bald head.
I thought it was the bandana.
Oh, was it?
I don't know. This is the moment that you've all been waiting for. Tinkoff Corner, yes, he's been very busy again on Twitter. Last Thursday he said this: "We signed Sagan, but his name is Uri. Ha ha ha." Then he said, "My dream is to re-sign Roach and Rogers, but Murdoch has thicker wallet, especially after he lost bid for Time Warner, 80 billions. Later on in the day he posted this picture saying, "This is Peter Sagan. Now we negotiate."
On Friday, though, the picture became slightly clearer as he announced that Peter Sagan had signed for them. "We agreed with Peter even in January. I don't understand why you underestimate these months. Am I not convincing enough?" I don't know, actually. Is he convincing enough?
Well, don't know. Take it with a pinch of salt, what he says.
Staccato. They are too weak for me.
Still, Tinkoff can't win Tweet of the Week every week.
No, he can't. That's exactly why we made Tinkoff Corner. So this week's Tweet of the Week comes from Pete Kenyuk. He had this to say in the wake of many riders and even managers being thrown off the Tour of Utah.
"This is so good to see About Time organisers crack down on this. So many people get away with it. What part of them thinks that hanging onto a car and not pedalling is okay? And especially the directors who encourage it. If you can't keep up, just go home and train, or something."
Couldn't agree more, Pete. Couldn't agree more.
We just go a bit faster, please. That's it. Bit more, bit more. That's it. Bit more, bit more. A bit more now, I've got to beat Lopez.
I'm not 43, mate.
Are you not?
No, I'm 34.
No.
Change it round.
Serious? God. This one's from the whole of us at GCN.
Ah, cheers, mate.
That's right.
I knew that other one was a joke.
Yes! Check it out. It's our pleasure, mate. It's our pleasure.
Thank you. Well, that's all for this week. Thanks very much for joining myself and Simon. We'll be back again next week.
In the meantime, here's a sneak preview of a top 10 that's coming soon.
Tally ho!
Hey. Cheers, bud.
That's all right.
See what I did there?
I did actually.
For more GCN Top 10s, click here.
And if you haven't yet subscribed, simply click on Matt. You know it makes sense.